So, welcome to the video lecture on time and work. Time and work is a very important topic from the placements point of view, and in most of the companies' aptitude question paper, you can at least find a minimum of 5 questions on time and work. So, first let us see some of the important facts that you need to know regarding time and work. So, we say generally, if a man takes 2 days to do a work, then what is the work done in 1 day? In 1 day, he does how much work? 1 by 2 of the work. In the similar way, if a person can do half a work in 1 day, he completes the work in 2 days. So you can see that if 2 is the number of days to do the work, in 1 day he does 1 by 2 of the work, and if in 1 day he does 1 by 2 of the work, he can complete the work in 2 days. So we can now make a general statement, that is, if a man takes n days to do a work, he completes the work of 1 by n in 1 day. So in most of these problems, if we calculate the number of work done in 1 day, we can solve majority of the problems. So as a vice versa, if a man does 1 by n work in 1 day, he will complete the work in n days. This is the basic concept about time and work. Similarly, now you will be seeing problems where there are 2 men working, 3 men working, and then at times one of them stops working after a few number of days, and so on. So we are going to learn how to solve all these kind of problems. Another important concept that we need to see in this kind of problem is, sometimes they say all the people don't do the same work. So for example, one person is a better worker, another is not such a good worker. So suppose somebody says A is twice as good as B, then what is the work done by A and the work done by B? The work done by A is 2 times the work done by B. So for example, if A is twice efficient than B, then work done by A is twice work done by B. We can also say in the terms of time. So if there is a particular work that has to be done, then if A will take certain time, then B will take double the time. So what we can say is that if A is twice efficient than B, then the ratio of the times taken by A and B is 1:2. So that will simply be the reciprocal of the efficiency. There is another concept that we also need to know in the problems involving time and work. That is concept is M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2. Here M1 comma M2 represents the number of men or machines that is doing the work, and D1 comma D2 represents the number of days taken to do the work. So what this formula means is, if M1 people are working for D1 days, the same work can be done by M2 people in D2 days. So then M1 D1 will be equal to M2 D2. Similarly, M1 D1 H1 is equal to M2 D2 H2. So here H1 comma H2 represents the number of hours that has been given in a particular day. So if M1 people are doing a work and the same work M2 people are doing, and if M1 people are taking D1 days and H1 hours, then M2 people will take D2 days and H2 hours. Similarly, we have M1 D1 H1 divided by W1 is equal to M2 D2 H2 divided by W2, where W1 comma W2 represents the work done, but both the work should be of the same type. So if M1 people are working for D1 days and H1 hours, and M2 people are working for D2 days and H2 hours, and the work done by M1 people is W1 and the work done by M2 people is W2, then we have this relation: M1 D1 H1 divided by W1 is equal to M2 D2 H2 divided by W2. So we have to remember these formulas to understand or to do problems in time and work. Let us go to the first problem in time and work. Question number 1. 4 men can do a work in 12 days. If there were 2 men less, in how many days can they complete 1/4 of the original work? So this is like the formula that we have seen later. Here the number of hours is not given, so all we need to do is, for this problem, use the formula M1 D1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 divided by W2. So this gives number of men in the first case is 4, and they take 12 days to do the work, and the work is 1. The second case, the number of men is 2 men less, so that is 2. The question is asking number of days, that is D2, and the work done is only 1/4 of it. So just solve this problem. So D2 will be equal to 6 days, because 4 into 12 divided by 2 into 4, that will be 6 days. Let us go to the second question. 24 clerks can clear 180 files in 15 days. How many clerks are required to clear 240 files in 12 days? So I think it's a very simple problem. The first case, the number of men is 24. The work done is 180 files. And the number of days taken is 15. The second case, M2, we have to find out, are required. So work done is 240 and the number of days is 12. So M1 D1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 divided by W2. So this gives us 24 into 15 divided by 180 is equal to M2 into 12 divided by 240, or you get M2 is equal to 40. 40 clerks are required to do this problem. Now let us go to the third question. A can do a piece of work in 10 days and B can do the work in 15 days. In how many days will they complete the work? So very simple question. So we have A is able to do the work in 10 days. B can do the work in 15 days. So 1 day's work we have to calculate for A and B. 1 day's work of A is 1/10. 1 day's work of B is 1 by 15. So what is the 1 day's work of A and B? That is equal to 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15. What is the LCM of 10 and 15? 30. So we have 3 plus 2. So here what we are getting is 5 by 60, 5 by 30, that is equal to 1 by 6. So A and B do 1 by 6 work in 1 day. Therefore, they do the work in 6 days. Now let us go to question number 4. A and B can separately do a piece of work in 20 and 30 days respectively. They work together for some days and then B stops. If A completes the rest of the work in 10 days, find the number of days B has worked. So it is very important kind of problem where one of them is leaving a work after a certain period of days. So let us go through the question again. A and B can separately do a work in 20 days and 30 days respectively. So in this kind of problem, let us first calculate what is 1 day's work of A, 1 day's work of B and 1 day's work of A and B together. So how do we go about that? So here we say A's 1 day work is equal to 1 by 20. B's 1 day's work is 1 by 30. So A and B's 1 day's work will be 1 by 20 plus 1 by 30. So that is LCM is 60. So this will be 3 plus 2. That is equal to 5 by 60. Or in 1 day they do 1 by 12 of the work. Now it is also given in the problem that A completes the rest of the work in 10 days, but he does this work alone. So we have to also calculate what is the work done by A in the 10 days. So in 10 days A would have done how much work? In 1 day he does 1 by 20. So in 10 days he will do 10 into 1 by 20. So he has done half of the work. Half of the work A alone has done. So how much work was done by A and B? So work done by A and B was also half, because total work is always 1. So work done by A and B together was 1 minus the work done by A alone, that is 1 minus 1 by 2, that is also 1 by 2. So A and B together has done half the work, and A alone has done half the work. So we know that A and B together can in 1 day do 1 by 12 work. So A comma B in 1 day they can do 1 by 12 work. We want to know in how many days will they do 1 by 2 work. So let us consider that x be the number of days. So we have 1 by 2 cross multiply. 1 by 2 into 1 is equal to x by 12. Or we can say x is equal to 6 days. This is a very important kind of problem. Question number 5. If 6 men working 8 hours a day earn rupees 1680 per week, then how much will 9 men working 6 hours a day earn per week? So in this problem, number of men is given, number of hours given. Now this represents the work done, because we know that money is proportional to the work done. So in this problem, instead of the work done, they have given in the form of money. So in this problem, M1 is equal to 6 and H1 is equal to 8 and W1 is equal to 1680. M2 is equal to 9, H2 is equal to 6 and W2 is asked for us. So we have, according to the formula, M1 H1 by W1 is equal to M2 H2 by W2. This gives us 6 into 8 divided by 1680 is equal to 9 into 6 divided by W2. Solve this to get W2 is equal to 1890. So instead of work done, this is the amount of money that is going to be received. So in rupees. So this is your answer. So now let us come to the sixth question. Two pipes can fill a cistern in 3 hours and 4 hours respectively, while a drain pipe can empty it in 6 hours. So how do you empty a object? That is the reverse work done. Okay, emptying work. So if the cistern is empty and all the pipes are opened simultaneously, in how much time will the cistern be half full? So here we know that the pipe, we can consider that there are 3 pipes here. So we can say work done by pipe A is in 3 hours. So in 1 hour it does 1 by 3 of the work. Pipe B does the work in 4 hours. So in 1 hour it does 1 by 4 of the work. Pipe C, which is the emptying pipe, it can empty the tank in 6 hours. So in 1 hour it does minus 1 by 6 of the work because it is draining. So A, B, C together in 1 hour how much work they do? That is equal to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 6. What is the LCM of 3, 4 and 6? The LCM of 3, 4 and 6 is 12. So we have 4 plus 3 minus 2. So it is 5 by 12. So which means in 12 by 5 hours they can fill the tank. This 12 by 5 hours is 2 hours and 24 minutes. So the question is asking when it will be half full. So half full will happen in 1 hour and 12 minutes. So this is the answer for this question. So now let us come to question number 7. Question number 7 says 2 men and 3 boys can do a piece of work in 10 days, while 3 men and 2 boys can do the same work in 8 days. In how many days can 2 men and 1 boy do the work? So now if we assume that 1 boy's work and 1 man's work, we have to assume like this. So let us assume that 1 man's 1 day's work be X and 1 boy's 1 day's work be Y. So it is given that 2 men and 3 boys can do a piece of work in 10 days. So 2 men plus 3 boys do the work in 10 days. So what is their 1 day's work? 2 men and 3 boys, 1 day's work is nothing but 1 by 10. So 1 man's 1 day's work is X. So 2 man's 1 day's work is 2X. 1 boy's 1 day's work is Y. So 3 boys 1 day's work is 3Y. Therefore we have 2X plus 3Y is equal to 1 by 10, because 1 by 10 is the 1 day's work of 2 men and 3 boys. In the similar way it is given 3 men and 2 boys can do the same work in 8 days. So 3 men and 2 boys 1 day's work is 1 by 8. 3 men and 2 boys 1 day's work is equal to 1 by 8. So we have again the relation 1 man's 1 day's work is X, so 3 men's 1 day's work is 3X. 1 boy's 1 day's work is Y, so 2 boys 1 day's work is 2Y. So again we have 3X plus 2Y is equal to 1 by 8. So this is a simple linear equation. You can solve this and get the value of X to be equal to 7 by 200 and Y is equal to 1 by 100. Now the question is asking in how many days can 2 men and 1 boy do the work? So 2 men and 1 boy's 1 day's work let us calculate. So 2 men's 1 day's work plus 1 boy's 1 day's work is equal to 2 into 7 by 200 plus 1 into 1 by 100, that is nothing but 16 by 200, that is 2 by 25. So they do 2 by 25 of the work in 1 day. Therefore, they will finish the work in 25 by 2, that is equal to 12.5 days. So these kind of problems are quite important. Now let us come to the 8th question. 100 cheetahs can kill 100 goats in 80 days. In how many days can 50 cheetahs kill 50 goats? So this is again the formula based question. I think we have seen the formula earlier. What is the formula? The formula is m1 d1 by w1 is equal to m2 d2 divided by w2. In this problem 100 cheetahs is there and the work done is 100 goats. So m1 is equal to 100. The work done, that is the killing of 100 goats, is the work done. So w1 is also equal to hundreds and the number of days is 80. d1 is equal to 80. In the second case d2 is asked. So what is m1 here? In how many days? 50 cheetahs. So m1 is equal to 50. w2, the work done is now killing of 50 goats, that is also 50, and d2 is asked. Substitute the value 100 into 80 divided by 100 is equal to 50 into d2 divided by 50. So again we will get the answer is d2 days. d2 is nothing but 80. So this is a simple problem. I hope you can understand this problem. Let us go to question number 9. Gupta and Kiran can do a work in 15 and 30 days respectively. They both work for 3 days and Gupta leaves. Then in how many days is the remaining work completed by Kiran? Now this is a very interesting problem. So let us solve this problem. The work done by Gupta is in 15 days. So Gupta does the work in 15 days. Kiran does the work in 30 days. So what is 1 day's work? 1 day's work of Gupta is 1 by 15 and 1 day's work of Kiran is 1 by 30. So what is 1 day's work of Gupta and Kiran? 1 by 15 plus 1 by 30. So LCM is 30, that is equal to 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3 by 30, that is equal to 1 by 10. So in 1 day they do 1 by 10 work. Now it is given in the problem that they both work for 3 days. So in 3 days they will do 3 by 10 work. Now the remaining work is 1 minus 3 by 10, that is 7 by 10. And 7 by 10 work has to be completed by whom? If you look at this problem, the remaining work has to be completed by Kiran. So Kiran does in 1 day 1 by 30. So in 1 day he completes 1 by 30. In x days he has to complete 7 by 10. So x by 30 is equal to 7 by 10, or x is equal to 21 days. This is the answer.